The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Good afternoon. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the schedule for Wilfred Watches Podcast. Today we bring you a very fun half-hour interview with TK Cooper, British wrestling superstar. We have a progress review with my buddy Archie coming up on the Patreon later this week, patreon.com/Wilfred Watches. If you choose to help support me that way, you get lots of bonus content, merch, and stickers, and all that good jazz. We are going to be recording Friday, the Fights of the Roundtable, and you can find out information on the first episode by going to the hashtag Fights of the Round Table. This new edition will be with 4 different people, including myself. We're going to have different perspectives from different points of the world, and I'm calling it the Global Edition. We have a guest from Australia, from Portugal, from the United Kingdom, and myself in the United States to give our opinions on professional wrestling. We also have author and senior writer at Bleacher Report, Jonathan Snowden, coming on at the end of the week. That will be released next week. Lots of fun stuff coming up. We have Candy Lee, New Zealand transgender wrestler. We're going to speak to her about her amazing rise, her mad Twitter game, and hopefully her run to stardom eventually one day. We're going to have wrestling organization Resurgence on at the end of the month. They are famous for their art core. Very, very different style of professional wrestling in the United Kingdom. And I'm also going to have a friend of mine, Becky, which you'll know from the internet, from the Twitter, at Do It With Flair On. She writes a very, very cool blog, and we're going to speak to her about pro wrestling, and she's going to ask me questions. I'm going to ask her questions. Fun conversation. So shout out, hashtag markout mentions go to all the Patreon members. I got some new signups last week, so thank you guys so much for your support. Much appreciated. Share the word if you're liking the content and the guest and the discussions that we have. And here we go. Enjoy my chat with TK Cooper. Welcome to Wilfred Watches Podcast, an American podcast about professional wrestling. And big thank you to my buddy Omega Luke for suggesting that I bring on a very, very hot professional wrestler in British wrestling in TK Cooper, who is a 100% pure dude. He's a Kiwi, and he has the most fresh overalls in all of professional wrestling. He is a guy you need to know in 2019 if you don't know about him already. And here he is. What's up, TK? How you doing?
Hello, man. Thank you for the introduction. Appreciate the reps there. That's very. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of overwhelmed. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm overwhelmed for you joining and hanging out with the Texan today. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Hanging out. I'm a big British wrestling fan, dude. I saw you in the overalls. I was like, yeah, I like this guy. And a while back, and thanks for the time, dude. So the internet is full of information, and it tells me that your first match as a professional wrestler was against Gino Gambino and Wrecking Ball Wilson, and you tagged with Travis Banks. Is that accurate?
That'll be totally incorrect. That'll be like 3 or 4 years into me wrestling.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what was your first...
The internet doesn't know, because I guess it's not online, because there was, like, my first match was in 2012. I made my debut in a Rumble in New Zealand and so I've got all my matches written down from when I started.
Really?
And I'm pretty sure the first however many don't exist because
There's no
for the
video. Yeah.
there's no video, there's no DVD, there's no proof. I just know. I know because I did it basically. But there was no one was keeping tabs on New Zealand wrestling until recently, so there's been no need for anybody to really kind of have an eye down there to see where people like Trav and I started, because there's just no record of it officially. Unless you go through the annals of YouTube, you probably won't be able to find a lot of our really old stuff. But I know Trav keeps a log of all his matches as well. But other than the bits we've got on paper, the cage match will be incorrect forever.
Well, they do a really good job. I mean, given the circumstance, but
sure. To a point, they've got it. Ever since I've come to England, I think a few people have mentioned that they've seen XYZ on Cage Match. So I don't keep up to date with it at all. I just do whatever's I just keep the information when somebody tells me. Today, I know that allegedly my first match, according to Cage Match, is in Australia in a tag match, which is untrue. Which is 3 years late of my first.
So,
match.
Do you remember the first match you had? Do you remember exactly what happened?
7, I think, in a rumble. Just kind of took a beating from a bunch of guys, and it was pretty inconsequential. In entrance and exit, it was just kind of you're good enough to be on the show now, so here you go.
So were you rocking the afro at that time, like that? I saw some old pictures of you with some fro going on. What was going on with your attire at that point?
I think I was just in biker shorts. No real aesthetic, just kind of Japanese young
Biker
boy.
shorts.
Not even on purpose, just nothing going on because I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Yeah, you were just happy to be there.
To be on the show today.
Yeah.
Hooray. Put on some tights and some kick pads and just the bare minimum. Close enough is good enough.
Close enough is good enough. That'll be trending at some point. So, dude, it's you're really young, 25, 26, something like that. Mm-hmm. You're already a major name in British wrestling in my eyes, and it must be pretty fun, dude, and wild. You and Mambo have a killer YouTube little series. It's very fun.
Super fun.
It's called Escaping the Midcard. It's very, very cool if you check it out on YouTube. Worth the subscribe. You'll have lots of fun watching it. How has this last year been, man? Are you having fun?
The last year's been a bit weird, obviously, because it was coming off the back of 2017, which was even crazier. Where I got I'm not deported, but my visa ran out, so I had to go back to New Zealand. God. And then we came back with the big whirlwind return, and that was crazy. And then we went to America pretty much straight away, and then I broke my leg, and then everything stopped.
Yeah.
And then I just did nothing for the rest of the year, which is a big bummer. So then 2018, pretty much, I spent most of the year just trying to reset myself and just get ready to go again and try. The most disappointing thing was trying to recapture all of that magic that had been in 2017, and it just didn't really fire as well, which I was kind of upset about. But still, 100% had a great time. I had another great wrestling year in Brit Rest, but it just wasn't I definitely think getting hurt really what's the word? I don't think stagnated is the word I'm looking for, but it really just it stopped. It slowed me down.
Just a pause, it took a pause and everything. Yeah,
I had to kind of start from zero again. Where I might have been at 75 in 2017, on my way up to 100. But 2018, I had to start from scratch all over again. From not the bottom. Not saying where I was the worst position, but just kind of where I was and where I wanted to be didn't end up being in the same place, but I still it was I still got a lot of awesome opportunities. Got to wrestle for a whole load. I think it was Luke who told me that I wrestled for over 20 companies last year.
Yeah, it's
things stats like that where I was
crazy.
Just not aware. I was not I'm just going week to week wrestling. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. It just kind of is what it is. What it is as the time passes, and you just kind of don't really take a second to acknowledge that sort of stuff. I always try to make sure I enjoy my day because I want to enjoy the whole fact I'm a part of wrestling. But at no point was I oh, this is promotion number 12 this year, or this is promotion number 17, or this is match number 50. This is all milestones type deal. I didn't really those weren't things I factored into my year, but that was pretty cool when he told me in the other podcast that he was like, yeah, you don't even realize you wrestled for over 20 companies. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, and I was like, I was looking at Cage Match, of course, because it's the good source. It's a good source for the most part, and I thought, I'll just lean into the next question. You becoming a bit of an Iron Man this year was what I was going to say, and based on that, you've wrestled like triple the amount of matches you did in 17 and 16. So is that because of the visa, or is that just because of there's more accessibility, more opportunity in England with so many companies that are thriving right now? Like,
I think it's a combination of a lot of those things. Plus, I just tried a lot harder this year just gone, and I think just with the brand of myself, like when I first got here, obviously telling people, "Hi, I'm TK Cooper. I'm great. Put me on your show." Like, I didn't have any proof, and then it took kind of like building it in progress to start. So then I had like a catalog or like a back, like a CV, like a wrestling CV where like I had content to be like, "Hello, I'm good. Here, let me show you." So like now I finally got like proof. Whereas like when I first got to the UK, it was just kind of like, take my word for it. Honestly, like I am good. And
yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, nowadays that there's so many opportunities out there, you have to really be your own brand. So it's I'm glad that you and Chuck and Spike and other dudes are on the escaping the mid card, because it's a fantastic idea. Because I've mentioned this a lot in other interviews that it's fascinating how wrestlers nowadays are, one, super accessible and super transparent with most of the fans, and two, they can brand themselves, like with YouTube videos, like Zack Ryder was many years back now, being the elite. It's
like, my God, that was ahead of its time.
It really was, man, and I don't think there's enough focus on that. So I try to bring it up every time because it was really groundbreaking. He made his own belt, and just like you guys now. Well, it's not as shiny, but
well, we don't really have the budget for that.
Yeah, totally understandable. But yeah, it's crazy. It's really cool to see you branding and branching out and being accessible to guys like me in San Antonio, Texas, who love progress and Defiant and all these.
I guess that's the point though, where it's like I can only sell my brand of TK Cooper. Chuck Mambo can only sell his brand of Chuck Mambo in like the 10 to 12 minutes we get given on a show, and then outside of that, you spend like your Monday to Thursday just living your life where there's just you can't keep pushing the brand on something that doesn't exist. So that's why like the YouTube show, well, not necessarily why the YouTube show exists, but like that's like another avenue for us to be like, hey, this is more stuff about us. If you want to engage with us, then watch the show and talk to us about it. So like there's more levels outside of the wrestling show for you to connect with us, basically.
Yeah, and nowadays it's not just like LiveJournal or MySpace. It's like there's 100 different platforms that you can use.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Like Twitter's the most direct. Like if I tweet something, you can respond to it and you can have your opinion about what I say, type deal. Like it's like instant gratification of like whether or not we can communicate together now as like a Z-list celebrity and yourself as a fan.
Definitely higher than Z-list, bro.
But I mean, wrestling is such a niche. It's so hard to get.
It is, man. But
indie wrestling is a niche inside a niche. So like.
And then British wrestling, because it's very regional. And
but it gets like the group of people that see what's going on, it gets like smaller and smaller. So the more you can like monopolize that as like, hey, everybody look at me, the more I guess the brand grows and the more exposure you get.
That's the goal, man. So like with companies like Riptide, and I spoke to Josh in a previous interview, who's a very cool dude. Riptide, Defiant, a lot of other companies now, really not shying away from doing intergender matches. What's your view on that? And there seems to be like some very backwards thinking that, oh, we can't have intergender matches. Like, what's your? I think it's silly, but what's your viewpoint?
You think intergender wrestling is silly, or
no? I think the opinion of people who are scared of it is silly. I'm all for it because women can kick my ass any day of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I mean, I get it because obviously, like people think, like the general consensus is that because a man is bigger than a woman, he'll just beat her up. So like they can't see past like the size difference, but like that's kind of like the ingrained story in intergender wrestling is like it's generally a bigger man versus a smaller woman, so you want to see how that works out. But people seem to be much more accepting of like small man versus big man, but never big man versus small woman, because somehow it's like distinctly different. But like a cruiserweight sized guy is probably the same size as like a regular sized woman anyway. But like for whatever reason, because of the gender swap, people get uncomfortable about it because it's just not the done thing. Because I guess in the real world we have like domestic violence issues and stuff, but like people just get protective of it. But generally, I think it's one of the more exciting styles of wrestling. Like I love intergender wrestling. I think it's super fun. Like I like to do it. I just think it's a fun story you can do in wrestling that isn't done as much. And obviously some people just get it wrong, and that's why like the people who say it's bad will they'll use those examples of like and off the top of my head I can't think of like a bad intergender match to bury, but in general I think intergender wrestling is sick. So like I'm very pro it.
I absolutely love watching Millie McKenzie, throw people like you around. No offense, but it's lots of fun. So,
but then I hoped you'd enjoy it just as much as me tossing her around.
Yeah, because
that's part of the fight.
Of course,
how she combats. Like obviously, I'm sort of how is she going to work around this, or like, is she just going to get ragdolled by me because that's what physics tell you is going to happen?
Depending on the character, like she's really
so body type dependent, like.
Yeah, like if she's somebody that I really have trouble liking, like Spike Gervais character, then I would totally want to see her get like suplexed through a table. But it depends on character too. But I think that personally, like Dan and Emily from Eve Pro Wrestling had mentioned on the podcast we spoke before, and Dan was like, there's just subconscious sexism out there, and it's very hard to uncover that. And I think that was a good point, because a lot of people don't realize what they're thinking or saying out loud, and it needs to be an inwards kind of reflection. So that's a whole nother conversation. But so I don't think you haven't held a belt in Progress yet, have you?
I have not.
That seems like criminal, man.
Bridesmaid.
I think you should be, showing up for one of these open challenges by 7, dude. Are we going to see you in the Atlas?
There's always a massive line, so.
Yeah, well, Federalis on the most recent show.
That was magical.
Blocking the line. That was wild. How'd you enjoy that match? That was fun, dude.
I was there at the show, and it was awesome. I loved it so much. It's so funny. Like those dudes are just so funny. They're so clever. It's really good. Like it's so really cathartic for the fans as well, who were like begging for it to be Federalis as well.
Yeah.
So, like, so many times, like the fans will ask for a match to be a certain way, or like certain people to be in a certain match, and then like a promotion will just like not ignore it, but just like they've got other plans. So when something comes through like that, where it's just like this is the perfect like storm of the fans want it, and it's just great booking, then it's like you can't go wrong pretty much from bell to bell.
And to kick off the card that way was just amazing to watch. My buddy Archie was up in the balcony during that show, and we're gonna actually do a review. So if you're listening to this, me and Archie are gonna do a review of the Chapter 82, I believe it was, Unboxing Live, Duke LaPrague Away Kits show later this week. So we'll put that up on the internet for y'all soon. So we mentioned Omega Luke, my bestie, brother from another mother. He had a question. He said, I'd like to know whether TK has had any interaction with Do Not Resuscitate, and whether he's been tempted to join with his Escaping the Mid-Card buddy Chuck.
It feels like I get this a lot now, but like since Wembley, I haven't really had much to do with Progress. Like I've obviously kept tabs on what they're up to because like they're my friends, so like I'm seeing, I'm making sure everybody's having a good time. But it's just funny to see Mambo break bad on Progress and run with Spike.
It's hard to root against them, dude.
I mean, I get it. I've been kind of conflicted about a lot of things, and it's good to see Mambo just kind of like take a stand and just if you want to, like, I spent so much time in Progress with like Trav that like now that I'm on the periphery, like I understand. Like, you got to do what you got to do, man. So like, to be associated with Do Not Resuscitate, like, I get it by proxy that people think that I'll be coming in at some point because I'm friends with Mambo and because I'm friends with Spike. But there's, like, at this stage, there's nothing there. It's like a totally separate thing. They're doing it, and I am happy for them. But despite as much as Twitter and the Progress Facebook group seem to think that, like, there's inklings that I'll be joining, I don't think that's the case just yet.
Okay, that's fair. Watch the space. Still, plenty of things. It's a crazy season for professional wrestling right now. You got people coming, going.
Oh yeah, everyone's in and out the doors. Everyone's signing new contracts. There's a lot going on.
It's wild times, man.
AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, etc., etc.
And since you brought up New Japan, I'm definitely a New Japan guy. I started this podcast reviewing New Japan, and it kind of branched out to British wrestling too. So would you jump to New Japan? Would you fancy it?
I definitely like to. Like, I don't really know where I would fit in, or like who I would want to feud with, or who I would want to, like, who my dream matches would be against. For the longest time, I wanted to wrestle Hiromu, but I'm not sure, like, if he's coming back now, or if he's kind of, like, taking a long-term hiatus. Like, he was one of my favorites for ages. Him and Kushida were my two favorites for a long time. But now even Kushida's, like, in and out.
I've been saying for
hell.
I've been saying for months, man, that Kushida's the best junior for me from New Japan for the last, like, 5 to 10 years. Like, he's just incredible. And I'm kind of bummed about reading the news, but I'm happy for him because new opportunities, new challenges in life, and that's what we should all strive to do. So another fan question from Darren, Mags and Bags Online, very smart dude. He says, which match is TK Cooper most proud of? Was there a specific moment or match where you realized that you had made it as a wrestler?
Made it. Oof, I don't know. I think, like, the one I'm most proud of is definitely me and Trav versus JML in Progress Orlando. Like, that was definitely the first match where I was like, wow, like, we've done something here, and, like, we've definitely made a name for ourselves pretty suddenly. And that was definitely, like, the breakout of, like, I remember Progress announcing the power trip of, like, as one of, like, the talent, like, they'd been going, like, daily talent announcements of, like, Mark Andrews will be there, Pete Dunne will be there.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like, the power trip will also be there, and, like, there was this one reply from some dude who was like, I don't even know who these guys are, and I was like, oh, like, and then I jokingly, like, quote tweeted it, and I was like, don't worry, man, like, we don't know who you are either, and then apparently it was, like, some kind of, like, infamous, like, US wrestling troll.
Oh God!
Like, so I'd obviously called him out, but I didn't realize I'd called out this, like, super popular, like, troll. So it got, like, a lot of traction. So I was like, oh, I didn't realize just, like, dissing some guy would be so popular. But it turns out it's because he's, like, infamous for, like, trolling stuff, and I called him on it. But I had no idea that I'd done it, sort of thing. Like, it's all kind of, like, unintentional, unaware. But, like, getting all the kudos for it, of, like, hey, yeah, got him, burn, zing. I was like, oh, well,
burn.
Wicked.
Sick burn, dude.
But it was basically off the back of things like that, where it's like people weren't, like, I thought that what Trav and I were doing in Progress had kind of, like, built up enough steam, because it seemed like, because I guess in, like, Brit Rest is like such a small bubble that when people, like, say nice things about you, like, when they at you on Twitter, like, oh, great match, another great match, 5 stars, whatever, they like, you only get it because, like, that's your Twitter timeline. Like, if I'm not getting notifications for other people, so I don't realize, like, what people are saying about them, sort of deal. Like, I get it because it's directed at me. So to be announced for the Progress America tour and being like, oh wow, what a great opportunity! I can't wait to, like, spread out and be around, like, all this new stuff, and then this guy to be like, I don't even know who these guys are. I was like, oh, we've done nothing, we've achieved nothing, we're nobodies. So,
dude, how do you take to Twitter? Do you think it's, like, becoming too negative, or do you think it's just, like, a subsection that's, like, super loud about it? What do you think about all that?
So. I think it's just a vocal minority, because the amount of people who come to shows and enjoy themselves compared to the amount of people who complain online is, like there's no numerical comparison. Like it's clearly there's more people that love it that just are like happy to just go home and just live with their lives and just say, I went to a great show today. That'll do. Whereas compared to the small vocal minority who would be like, I didn't like the way he kicked that guy in the head because it didn't look real. So like it's like it's fine. Like who cares? It's such a like. I say who cares, but I love to bite on everything. So, like, because I think it's funny. Like, it makes me laugh. So, I'm not a good example for saying, be the bigger man and just leave it because
it's hard to be like that, man. It's really hard because
like a bigger person than me would do that, but I am just like I find it too funny to just like to just troll back, I guess, because it's just what. Why do you come to the shows if you just hate them? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, for real.
Why do you come to the shows to find holes in what? Like, if we all love wrestling, then like obviously be critical of it, but just don't like be constructively critical. Don't just like don't tear it down. Have a discussion because that's essentially this. We're all adults mostly, so we can we can discuss and chat about like our communal love for pro wrestling, but you don't have to just say, "Oh, this is shit. This is the worst thing I've ever seen," etc. Like, it's not even worth into.
So I'm gonna throw a selfish question at you. I think Trent Seven is a gorgeous man. Mm-hmm. Is he as gorgeous in person, and does he smell well? Like, I'm just a big mark for him, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he looks the same as he looks on telly, and yep, he definitely keeps himself smelling very clean, very fresh. Yeah,
lovely. Keeping the dream alive. Thank you.
No problem.
So for 2019, are there any other names, maybe from, as we mentioned, New Zealand or Australia? The talent from there has just been like limitless right now. Are there any other names from your region of the world, or even London or the UK, that we should be keeping tabs on, other than you, of course?
Honestly, it'd be hard to tell you because I'm so out of touch with what's going on in Australia and New Zealand now. Like, I still talk to all my friends from back home about like what they are doing, but I couldn't tell you who is the next big star on the horizon in Australia and New Zealand at the moment. I mean, that's just not really something I have ever asked anybody. So, I really couldn't tell you without lying, really.
So out of the UK, the people that I mean, obviously Spike Trivet he's a hot talent. He's very good. Even Evers getting back into the action. He's present now and all that good stuff. Fight Club Pro is killing it. Any other companies or names that I need to know about here in Texas?
I mean, if you don't already know, Connor Mills is probably one of the big names for this year. I'm pretty sure. Like he's like a sleeper in 2018, just having like quality matches all year, and he's like 19 going on 20 this year, so he's super young, but he'll be great by the end of this year. I bet like he'll be massive, I'm pretty sure.
Sweet. All right,
that's my one name. That's all.
You're putting all your eggs in his basket. So.
Other than the obvious ones that you've named, like Mambo, Spike, Eva, like those are just my friends, so it feels wrong to say like my friends are going to be the biggest stars this year. You just wait and see.
Hey, I mean, it's true though. You guys are absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to flip the question here. Do you have any questions for a podcaster from Texas who likes New Japan?
No. I don't know what I'd ask. No, I guess no. You.
So let me ask you one last question.
Sure.
What was one of the foods that you liked when you came to America? Was there anything that was like kind of new to you, or you got to try finally that you liked?
No, I can't say I tried anything like distinctly American that I hadn't really had before. I went and me and Jimmy Havoc went out on when we landed in New York and we went and had the red velvet croissant, and then we went to like the alcoholic ice cream place. I can't remember what that's called. We just went on a massive like New York's like hipster artisan foods walk. But yeah, other than that, like just gorging myself on just general American style fast food. That was mostly fun.
I'm just making a note here. Jimmy Havoc hipster food tour. That's marketable. We need to get that. Maybe hipster deathmatch food tour. There we go.
Oh yeah, if you can put them in like a set of like chinos or something, and a button up top and a fedora.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me, man. I think that's a perfect way to end. Very cool, fun conversation, TK Cooper. Where can we find you on the internet, man?
You can spot me around Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Pure TKC or /Pure TKC at most social media, most of the schmeeds. Other than that, if you're a promoter, hit me up on the email at puretkc@gmail.com. Other than that, just pretty. That's it. Oh, and merch is sppc.bigcartel.com. I've only got one T-shirt up there because I've kind of like that's all I got left at the moment. Still looking into new designs, but if you want to pick up a cheap shirt because like I gotta flog them off because I don't want them in my house anymore. They're just a tenner. They're a British tenner. So
ooh, okay, I like that. It's only about $12 or $13 US, guys.
Yeah, plus postage, which I think is like a $5. So like, it's a steal. It's a steal, honestly. Like, take my word for it. Why would I lie?
Sounds like it. Honestly, because 20 pounds is a little too much for me at times. But I grabbed a couple Charlie Evans T-shirts.
She's doing a 50% deal or something at the Mo as well. So yeah, like I've only got a handful, and they're annoying because you just trip over them, and I just don't want them around me. So like, if you're listening to this podcast right now. Do yourself a favor and buy my shirt because you might wear it. I won't because that'd be weird. But
stand yourself, dude. You got to stand yourself in 2019.
I've got it in weird sizes. I can't wear them all. So
all right, sweet. I will check it out actually. So
lovely.
Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. Much appreciation. And please, if you're in the UK and you see a card with the name TK Cooper on it, go to the show. It's gonna be lots of fun. And lots of flippy stuff and really cool dubstep. So
really safe flippy stuff too now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude.
All right. Thank you,
cool.
man.
Take care, man.